So good afternoon, parents and guardians. We just wanted to record this short video just to give you some information about your son returning to school this coming Monday. So firstly to say, we're obviously delighted to be welcoming your son back to the building. We've had the Sixers in for the last couple of weeks and things have been going well, and we're delighted that some more students are going to come back into the building next Monday. So looking forward to that. I just say this PowerPoint will be shared also with the students. So as the students are listening, I am addressing it to parents, but the information that I'm giving to you all is relevant to everybody. So one of the most important things that you need to do in advance of returning on Monday is the return to school form. This is required by the department, and all staff and students have to fill it out before they return. So unfortunately, if this form does not get completed, your son will have to go home. Now, the link to the form is in the email sent with this presentation. So just click on it. It'll take you a couple of minutes and we'll know exactly who's got the form signed. And it was very, very high compliance with the Sixers, and we would expect the same from our fifth year cohort. So when the school opens up on Monday morning, please ask your son to go directly to his base class and sit in his assigned seat. Now, this is the same base class that he would have had before Christmas. It's his English classroom, and the boys are very, very familiar with where they need to go. And we would just ask that students arrive as close to 8:55 as possible. So the day is going to begin with a short induction. The boys will know what this means, but basically we'll just take some time to remind some of the boys of the procedures that we have in school. And we'll also talk about some of the supports that are available to them should they need them. So that will take about the duration of the first class on Monday morning. We have made some changes, and I know this has been communicated to you already, but please, do have pay close attention, because it's just a reminder that students can now bring in a device to support their learning. So the purpose of this is to be able to access ebook versions of their textbook and to make their bags lighter, because obviously we no longer have lockers. So a device is anything like a laptop, a Chromebook, an iPad, or a tablet that allows the lads to kind of cut down on what they have to carry in. It's worth remembering that the devices must be only used for teacher-directed learning on assigned apps, and the use of devices is completely at the teacher's discretion. It's really important that if the lads choose to bring in a device, that it's fully charged. We don't have the facility to charge loads of different devices, but also there's a health and safety risk of lots of wires trailing along the ground, which is something we can't have. So fully charged would be best. In terms of attendance, this is an issue that we have already communicated to you about as well. And I suppose it's just to be aware that every study shows that students who attend school do better in end of series tests. And the reality, unfortunately, is that students in fifth year have signed out for reasons that should not really take precedence over school. And this has been particularly happening on a Friday after break, when students are heading for the double PE class, which is a very, very valuable part of the school timetable and also plays a major role in student health and well-being. So in order to overcome this, and we've outlined this previously, if your son wishes to leave school, he must be collected by a parent or guardian. So someone is going to have to come up and sign him out. And that way, hopefully, we'll be able to maintain better records of attendance between now and the end of the school year. It's important to remember that, look, we are in a pandemic and managing the school building is a challenge, and we're doing our very, very best. But it's just a simple fact that students cannot come and go as they please. We have a timetable in place and we have seating plans in place to know where everybody is. And it's important that we adhere to that as much as possible. So thank you for your support of that. In terms of uniform, again, just to bring some clarity for you at home, it's full uniform all the time: black formal shoes, trousers, shirt and tie, and so on. One of the key ways of trying to prevent COVID entering the school community is to make sure that the building is well ventilated. And to that end, doors and windows are always open. And that can mean that the rooms can be cold. Students are allowed to wear a top, but it must be over the full uniform, not instead of it. So if your son wishes to wear a sweatshirt or a hoodie over his school jumper, that's perfectly fine. It cannot be instead of his school jumper. And we just have a rule in school of no hoods up indoors and no headphones, which is a standard rule we've had for a long time. The ground floor is a one-way system. Again, the lads are well used to this. Again, arrive as close to 8:55 as possible and go to the base class. We have made one change to break and lunch with just having the two groups in school. We are going to allow fifth and sixth year classes out to the front of the building at break or lunch. It'll be in a rotation. So example, on Monday, it'll be fifth year will be out at break and sixth year will be out at lunch, and we'll rotate that over the course of the day. It's important to state that students don't have to go outside, but if they choose to remain indoors, they must sit in their base class in their assigned seat, which is obviously maintaining social distancing. As you expect, face coverings are compulsory. And if your son has any symptoms of COVID-19, please do keep him at home. If he develops any of these symptoms in school, he should obviously tell a teacher straight away. In terms of waste disposal, again, in terms of keeping the school community safe, we are asking students to take their waste home with them. Whatever they've had for lunch, any recycling and so on, so they can take that home with them and dispose of it safely. Reminder of the symptoms of COVID-19, just for the lads who are listening in as well. A new cough, a fever, shortness of breath, or a change to your sense of taste or smell. So if any of those symptoms occur, again, please do not come to school. Please ring your doctor and seek advice. If your son is feeling unwell in school, he can tell a teacher. We have a designated isolation room across from the main entrance, and we will call you straight away. If necessary, and highly unlikely, but if necessary, we would ring emergency services if needs be. And we do ask the students respect the privacy of others, and if someone has to take some time in the isolation room, obviously, if anyone was to take any photos of that would create a serious problem. So as you would expect, the boys have to maintain social distancing at all times. They have to wear their face covering at all times, and they have to, above all, behave appropriately. It's worth understanding that everyone is anxious about returning, staff included. So students jeopardize their own safety or the safety of others. You can expect that as you obviously to be dealt with firmly. I'm sure you yourselves at home have anxiety about the boys returning as well. So obviously, if students follow the advice and the steps that we've put in place, hopefully everyone will stay safe and healthy through to the end of the year. In terms of what you can do to support your son on his return, staying engaged is the key for the lads. Now, we do understand that some students were able to get more work done over the lockdown or the period of online learning. We do understand that, and teachers do understand that. And there's a variety of reasons as to why that might be. What's important over the coming weeks and months is that your son speaks to his teachers about their progress, and if they're worried about anything, and if they missed work over the online learning period, that work is still there. One of the great things about our way of doing it is that because it's on Google Classroom, students are able to go back and access the work, so they can continue to do that. And if they need some help and guidance around that, we are here to help. And if you want any extra advice or support, or you feel your son needs it, then you simply have to email the info@Summerhill College account, and I, Mr. Moriarty, or one of the other deputies will get back in touch with you. So as I say, I hope you found that informative. We're very much looking forward to getting our fifth years back into school on Monday. Please do complete the return to school form in advance, and hopefully between now and the end of the year, we'll be able to stay in the school building and catch up on some of the work. Thanks for your time.